We back. We back, man.
And I told you, situations can change based on the next game. And we won. We played some good football, really good football. And look at us today. Look at you. You're smiling. You're smiling. I'm smiling. So if anybody had listened to that podcast yesterday, would have said, man, shit's bad. But
build up the morale of every single player and staff and be like, holy shit, like this is next level now.
On the bench, Man City, on the bench, Bayern Munich. Those are the four clubs we need to be competing against.
we don't have the luxury of that. We don't have the luxury of having the players that Real Madrid has. For example, Endrick, you have Goulart. We don't have that.
So then how can you judge Arteta to that standard where if he doesn't win the league he's fired when we are not willing to back him like that? Why don't we have that?
Okay.
We back.
So
We back, man. So, Mr. Magaya, welcome. Not only are we back together, Arsenal is also back, man. Huh? We won. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel good. We did a podcast last week. We did a kind of like a trimester review. We were dropping a lot of points. So for me, I was really not happy with how things are going. And I'm the type of person that I cannot mince my words and I don't like to hide my emotions. I'm a very emotional person when it comes to Arsenal. We were dropping points and it just so happened that we dropped points at Chelsea as well. And so when we had the podcast, obviously I was not in the best,
Whole beginning of the season was weird, but seeing us win and Man City lose again, that's as good as it gets. Huh?
And I told you, situations can change based on the next game. We won. We played some good football, really good football. And look at us today. Look at you. You're smiling. You're smiling. I'm smiling. So if anybody had listened to that podcast yesterday, would have said, man, shit's bad. But today, here we are,
Here we are indeed,
toasting
man.
to our club.
It was just so nice to see us be creative again, eh? To play the ball, to pass. Like, what did you think of the actual game?
I thought we dominated, absolutely dominated the game. When the lineup came out, I looked at Jorginho in the lineup and I said, okay, Arteta is throwing us a curveball. When we started to play, we dominated, absolutely dominated. Jorginho played well. He got taken out at the half, but I think it was a cautious substitution because he got a yellow card, and then he brought in Thomas Partey, and he scored the goal. But on top of that, the combination play, Martin Odegaard, Bakaya Saka, man, those guys, they got the connection. I don't
Connect all the
know
way.
don't know what they've been eating in the gym. I'm sure they sit next to each other on the bus, on the plane, because they were just instrumental. They
They
were
not even 4G, 5G, Starlink. Huh? The connection there is Starlink, man.
elite, elite. But if we talk on Odegaard, that guy, he was instrumental to everything we did. He had a game. And that's the Odegaard that we come to love.
I don't know if you noticed. Did you see how when he wasn't in the team, we were complaining how he kept playing like side to side and very rigid? Did you see how he moves into so many different positions? Huh? He like was dropping deep, coming to get the ball in the half. Then he's running to the wings and combining with Saka. He's combining with a striker. He's combining with the left side. It's like him alone has like unlocked the whole team. The whole team is playing better because of one guy. Eh?
What one thing I saw of Fabio, and let's just say when he wasn't playing, is that for me there are only three players that can play with the back towards the goal.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey has the ability to collect and he just turns. Martin Odegaard also does that because the other players they get the ball, they pass it back, and then it has to go that way and then thing. But Thomas Partey, he like turns, like he
Yeah.
gets it on the turn. Martin
Yeah.
Odegaard gets it on the turn. Another player,
Yeah.
which we're going to get to, is Ethan Nwaneri. When he gets the ball, he does not pass it back. You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
pass it back. So that
Yeah.
triangle or that U shape that we associated is because we don't have progressive passing.
Yeah, man.
And
We
that
really
is
do
what they
not.
say is breaking the lines. Because
Yeah.
when you give it to Thomas Partey from the deep, he automatically turns and he goes up. He doesn't play it across.
I don't know if you remember. I think it was when Arteta just came in and he was like coaching Aubameyang and them. I think he was talking a lot about how important that is to receive the ball in the half turn. He used to tell them like you even have to position your body and your butt. He was even being very specific about you position your butt.
Yeah.
So that when you get the ball, you turn. He was like very specific about that. And I feel like we had been losing that a bit, you know? Like for me, for example, I'm not being a hater, but I've been a bit unhappy with Declan Rice this season. I like him as a player. I think he could be a world class number 6 one day. But for me, if Partey is to leave at the end of the season, like it looks like he might, we don't know, and Declan Rice takes up that position, he needs to add that to his game. Huh? How he receives the ball, how he passes it forward. The way he receives the ball is always taking so long, and that's why he has to pass sideways, and he knows how to run forward, but he doesn't really know how to get the ball in the half turn, dribble one, put a good pass, you know? If he adds that to his game, I think I'll be really happy. I was happy that Partey has been getting some game time. I was worried we're gonna have Partey playing on the right fullback. I'm glad he wasn't. He played in where he's meant to play.
And how do you feel about that?
As soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, we can do something. But I was worried because you know me, I love my Havertz. I know you don't, but Gabriel Jesus, I was like, hey man, I was expecting Nottingham Forest to defend a lot more, if I'm honest. I thought like, hey, Nuno Espírito Santo, you know, they have the second best defense in the league. I thought he was going to come and just defend. But actually, there were some gaps. And the way we played, I'm happy, man. If we can keep that up, how do you think we're going to be doing this season, man? Do you think we can catch up to Liverpool? Are we still in it? Or for now, it's still a bit too far?
We played a lot of games away from home. I think I was listening to another podcast this morning and they were talking about, I think the last time we played at home was probably like a month ago. Everybody has been counting us out. Everybody has been saying, the title is over, Liverpool is going to take it or Man City or whatever. But at the end of the day, these guys are human beings just as us. You get what I'm saying? The English Premier League is one of the greatest sport leagues in the world. I have to say, it's competitive, man. It's competitive.
If we can follow it up with a win next weekend. So I've got the fixtures here, right? Besides, of course, we play Sporting for the Champions League. We're playing West Ham away. We're going to them, right? That's where we dropped points last season. And then we're playing against Man United, followed by Fulham away. And Fulham has been playing well. For me, those three games, West Ham away, Man United at home, Fulham away. If we can perform well in all three games, I'm not saying I expect us to win all three games, but if we can put in good performances in all three, be creative, be solid at the back, even if we win two and we draw one, I think I will start to feel like more confident in the team. I want them to follow it up, you know?
When I speak about the Premier League, there are no easy games. And one thing that Arteta says, which I like, he says, you need to earn the right to win the games. This is
Yeah.
before playing because at the end of the day, these guys are professionals. So no team is taken for granted. But I expect that we will come 9 points. West Ham, as I said, they're professionals. Yeah, they're in the Premier League. They don't have Mohamed Kudus playing that game because he's suspended. So that is a big blow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good. I didn't know that.
he's suspended. Okay, they bought players with the Declan Rice money, but now it seems like it's disjointed. You
Yeah,
know what I
it's a
mean?
bit,
Even if
their
you have
squad is a bit.
Paqueta, yeah, even if you have Paqueta, but even Paqueta is dealing with that uncertainty and so forth. So I don't no, I don't want to say I don't expect West Ham to trouble us, but I expect our team to win. That's West Ham. Man United is enigma because we have a rivalry with them. It can go either way. Last year when we played Man United at home, it was a Declan Rice 95th winner. And then also it was Eddie Nketiah goal that won us the game.
Eddie
So
in the room.
it's a rivalry. You can't really expect things to go down because form goes out the window. It's a rivalry game. You get what I'm saying? But I'll obviously bet that we're gonna win. I bet.
Okay, so don't bet because otherwise you might end up like Paqueta, anyways, who is always in trouble. I
No, when I say I bet, I'm
no,
just
I'm
saying I
teasing,
put
man. I'm
my money
teasing.
on us.
Man United. I don't think there's a team that I hate more strongly in the world than Man United because of the rivalry from back in the day, right? I was actually thinking we should do a podcast special and maybe invite one or two Man United fans and we have a little chat when that game comes up. The fact that they have beaten us 8-2, I will never forget. And when I saw Liverpool beating them 6-0, and when I've seen Man
Yeah,
United suffer, I mean, they've got a new coach now, which I wish him well and all that. But I mean, they just drew
yeah.
to Ipswich. For some reason, when it's against us because of the rivalry, even if it's the worst Man United team, they manage to put in a performance. I just wanna thrash Man. For me, that almost counts as a trophy. I promise you, like Carabao Cup. I've never taken it serious. I know we need to take it serious. If he hears this, he's gonna be like, "What the hell? Carabao Cup is important, man." But for me, I'm more happy if Arsenal thrashes Man United, Chelsea, and Tottenham than I am if we win the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? Like if we can just thrash Man United one for the ages, then I'm happy already, man. A good old 6-1.
I just don't think that that's gonna happen.
I agree,
I
it's
don't think
not, but it happened to us.
like a big score. No, no, I know that, but it happened to us when we were shit, man. We were a dog.
But
Like
this
we
is what I
were
want to tell you.
like
Man United is a dog right now. Luckily, they have a new manager, but Rashford and
no,
Casemiro, I don't know if you saw, they were too busy this week. They were like in 14th in the league, right? And this week before the games, they decided to go on a nice trip to America. I
yeah,
don't
I
know if you
know
saw,
that.
even
Yeah,
Gary
yeah, I
Neville was
know, I know, I
complaining.
know. I rather us have we win the game, like let's say like 2-0 or 3-1 or something, but like total domination. Like Nottingham Forest this weekend. Nottingham Forest had zero shots on goal. That we dominated, man. I know that score lines matter because obviously it makes us feel good. We want to score and so forth. But I'd rather us dominate to the point where the center forward like Hoyland is going one on Saliba and Saliba just pushes him out the way and then he falls over. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Couldn't touch.
Yeah, I think Amorim is like changing some things. I wouldn't be surprised if the center forward for that game is Rashford, because today he started Rashford and he put two tens, Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes. I think he's gonna do some good things for them, man. I'm just pissed off that he's here now. Why didn't he come after we thrashed them, man? Because they are dog, man. And you're saying professional. For me, Man United players right now, those guys are not professional, man. They're getting paid to literally like scratch their balls, man. Those guys do nothing. They're like so bad. How can you play for Man United and be in 14th place
We gotta take it one
game
game
by
at a
game?
time. Yeah. And yeah, we need to take it one game at a time. Especially, for example, I know the next game we have Sporting. Okay. If we lose to Sporting, for me, I'm not, and we jump on a podcast, I'm not gonna be bitter
Yeah, yeah,
because
for sure.
there's still a lot of ground to make on Champions League.
For sure. So now, if we go back to Premier League, and yeah, man, we've got quite a lot of games. What if you're Arteta coming up to that? Because we've got the League Cup quarter-final against Crystal Palace, and then 3 days later we play Crystal Palace again, right? So if you're Arteta, how do you manage those two games, man? The League Cup going into the Premier League, playing the same team 3 days later. Do you go full strong team against Carabao Cup like how HC wants, or do you try to rotate like? And what would you do?
Okay. Priority for me is always the league. Okay. But Carabao Cup, we have a good enough squad to win. We have a good enough squad. If we have everybody fit, the secondary players or substitutes should be enough, in my opinion. We should challenge for cups. I think it's something that we need to win a trophy, whatever the trophy will be, if it's Carabao or FA. I think we just need it for like morale, and I think it just needs it for the fans because every year that passes, it's Mikel. Like we get to second place, but we're just not getting
not
over
getting
the line.
something.
So
But by
yeah,
the way,
so
I love FA Cup. Huh? I know I'm talking crap a lot about Carabao Cup, but FA Cup, I love FA Cup, man. If we can win FA Cup, I'm happy, man. We, Arsenal, are the team that has won the most. So for us to keep
we
that
tight.
continue, like, we gotta,
We're
man.
tight.
That's our cup.
Yeah, but Fabio, so the way that I would approach it, our squad is good enough. We don't have to go with our first team squad. But what I can say to you categorically is our second team, let's say we have on the left, if Trossard was the first this weekend, we have Martinelli. If Jesus played number 9, we have Havertz.
Yeah,
On the right wing, if it was Saka that played, we have Sterling.
we don't have Sterling, sorry.
No, 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 no. What do you
I'm
mean, man?
joking.
We he
I'm
just
joking.
he assisted.
I'm just, oh my God, no, no, no. I was being a hater,
No, no,
but
no,
you count
no.
his
We
assist.
no. We're talking about Crystal Palace,
Listen,
Carabao.
listen,
We're
Sterling,
talking about Crystal Palace,
yeah.
Carabao.
For me, for Sterling to convince me that he's worth something, he needs to play so well that he gets back into the England squad, right? That's like the level that I expect of Sterling, which is not going to happen. So for me, Sterling, to be honest, I don't think he can do anything that will make me change my opinion on him because I'm not just thinking of what Sterling isn't doing, I'm also thinking of how he's stopping us from having had another player. Which reminds me, by the way, remember we were arguing last week about Hutchinson was playing for Ipswich. Go look afterwards. He scored a banger today, man. He scored such a goal against Man United today. And he dominated Man United. That kid is going places, man. He already won Championship Player of the Year last year on loan at Ipswich.
Okay.
The way he played against Man United today, he just also has it, man. He's got that cockiness. You know, like when we see Partey and Nwaneri play. I know this guy's a bit older, all good, but he's got that something, man. Left footer. He should have been our Saka backup, man. I wish he had stayed.
It's the other problem that I have with Arteta. When are these guys going to get their moment to shine? Fabio, when are they going to get their moment to shine? But the game that changed Arteta was Arsenal Chelsea.
Yeah,
He rolled the dice and he put Saka and he put Smith Rowe
yeah, that
and they
saved his
won
job.
him
Huh?
the game. After that, they were in the squad. But the difference is at that position, Arsenal, they were probably sitting in like eighth, ninth position. You can experiment at that time. It's like whether you do it, whether you don't, we're rolling the dice. The difference is last year, but even this year here, we needed to hit the ground running.
Yeah,
Arteta doesn't have time to experiment, even though he wants to put Ethan Waneri and everybody is calling for it. We're chasing, okay, I'll say this, I would have said this yesterday. We're chasing Man City.
yeah,
Any margin of error is a difference of 3 points. Tomorrow you put Miles Lewis Kelly because and then he makes a bad tackle and it leads to a goal, and here we are scolding the guy.
yeah,
And our point difference, Arsenal's here and it's growing.
yeah,
But we knew when we started the season, Arsenal, we need to be perfect. We need to win our games. And you know what? I cannot even remember the last time I've listened to a podcast that didn't begin with, this game is an important game. It's like a must win game.
must win game. Like every game,
From like
first
first
game of
game,
the
like we
season.
have 30 games. It's like you're having anxiety, man. The margin of error is so small.
I must tell you, Pep Guardiola has done this to everyone, man. I actually looked it up today because they were talking about how the last time a team had had as much of a gap in first place as Liverpool does now was 1992, 93, like Alex Ferguson. Remember, before the Premier League started, there used to be 42 games. You know that Man United used to win the league with 91, 92 points with 42 games. Pep comes in, 38 games, he's hitting 98, 100. You know what I mean? Pep has made us all anxious, man. I actually blame Pep. Like, we lose one game, we all stressed. It's like, oh my God, the world has ended, you know? Meanwhile, Man City just lost 4 in a row, and we still think they're coming back. We're like, no, it's City. They're coming back. You know what I mean? This guy has made
Yeah,
us all
yeah,
anxious, man. He needs to pay for
yeah.
our
But
mental health bills, man.
word. But what I'm saying is, if we were, we all know that Ethan, for example, yesterday's game, the boy is ready, man, 100%. We know that, but we cannot roll the dice on him because we are still in the title race. We started off. We need to be perfect. We need because we know what the margins are for error.
This is why I am always saying I can't take the Carabao Cup serious because we're always so stressed with every competition. We have to be perfect. For me, Carabao Cup is the one option where we can breathe and we can take risks and he can experiment. If it works, cool. If it doesn't work, okay. But he's giving youth a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember Arsene Wenger, like, to bring him up again. Sorry, I have to bring the father, you know. He used to always try things with the Carabao Cup. You think that if he really wanted, we couldn't have won during his time. We could have, but we never won. He didn't care about the cup, Carabao Cup. And the reason he didn't is so that he could give youth players a chance. I was listening to something he said a couple of years ago, which was you pay for the education of young players with points. It's like if I put in like a young center back into my team, I know he's gonna make a mistake at some point and it's gonna cost me points in the season. But it is in my belief that the right thing to do in football is to give the guy who deserves a chance, even if I have to then pay for it as a manager, right? So I can understand that people will say, well, but then Wenger maybe went too far because we didn't win leagues since 2004. But Arteta, for me, he's got enough credit in the bank that if he pushes with Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup,
That's better, Fabio. Get the
yeah.
fuck out of here. What is Arteta's credit? What's Arteta's credit?
For
One
you, he
FA
doesn't have
Cup
credit?
in the last 5 years.
We're not firing Arteta, man. We could even finish 6th this season. We're not firing Arteta. Do you know what I mean?
No, I want to know. You just said
Yeah,
Arteta has enough credit in the bank. What
yeah.
is Arteta's credit?
Okay, I'll
Are
tell
you
you.
gonna are you
I'll tell
gonna
you.
are you gonna say because he won a FA Cup
No,
5 years ago with a
no.
team that was not even his? What is
For
his
me,
credit, man?
no. I'll tell you his
What
credit.
has he won?
It's not about that because Ten Hag won the FA Cup and still got fired, right? So did Van Gaal. So for me, it's not about that. 89 points. Yeah. For me, Arteta,
No,
89
no,
points. And where he got us in the Champions League, for me, that's enough. Last
no.
season and the season before, for me, he's got enough credit. He doesn't with you.
For me, second, third place, and you don't win nothing. For me, that's why I said to you, I did say to you, I said to you last in the last podcast, if Arteta does not win silverware and becomes second, he needs to go. Ildiz, I said that.
Bro,
No, it's fine. That's the difference of opinion. That's the difference of opinion. This is why we are in this the podcast because
yeah.
we have people
I
didn't
wish
agree
H
with
was
me.
here because this was this discussion that actually, sadly, last time it cut in the last recording with the voice. I wanted to have put it because this was too funny, man. Me and H were laughing because I respect your opinion that for you, if he finishes second and doesn't win, he's fired. To me, that is madness. And let me tell you why, man. Man United, with their ambition, firing coaches who have won things. Are you honestly going to tell me that Man United the past 10 years has been better than we have? Because they're in the mud.
No, yeah, they're in the mud, or as you say, we have Arteta. Arteta has taken us from 0 to 100. We have world class players. We have Ballon d'Or players, but he is not able to take us over the line.
We have
So we
three.
need to
We
get
have three.
somebody that takes
No,
us.
no.
Yeah, we have three.
But again, we have three in the top 20. City has, I think, Haaland and Rodri, last I checked, were in the top five, huh? Like Rodri number one.
Yeah,
And you know what
yeah.
I mean? So, end of the day, our squad is not better than Man City's. and our squad is not better than Liverpool's, to be honest. So
So
for
you're
me,
good with you're good with being second.
I'm not, but for me, we need to invest in the transfer market. This is not only Arteta. That's why I'm saying we need a good transfer market.
Fabio,
It's not just Arteta. Arteta already got to the
fucking,
max last season,
fucking
89
tot,
points with that squad.
fucking Tottenham just beat them motherfuckers 4-0 yesterday.
Bro,
They
right
beat
now,
them.
the way City is playing, they will lose to everyone. They lost to Sporting, right? They lost to
And
Sporting.
why are we not capitalizing on that? Why are we
Because,
letting Liverpool? Okay, now I understand. No, you can cut this
no,
segment out.
no, I'm
Vasco
not.
cut.
I want to leave
You
it.
can
I
cut.
like our
Fuck it.
argument. I like
No,
our argument.
you
Keep
can
it.
cut this.
No, I'm not cutting it. Keep it. I love this argument,
No,
but
I apologize for that. But no, Fabio.
yeah.
No, man. We've come. If we don't win, it will be 3 consecutive years touching the surface.
If we don't win what? A Carabao Cup?
No, the Premier League, man. I don't
Okay.
care about. I care about trophies, but we're talking about the big league. 2 years ago, we lost because Saliba wasn't there. Do you know who we put to replace Saliba?
Time.
Rob Holding.
Rob Holding, yeah. You want to win the league with Rob Holding and Edin Ketia. But you see, so it's the squad. For me, that's not Arteta's fault.
Okay,
It's the
Dudube.
squad, right?
But
Sorry, but on that topic, Kiwior is another one of those players that I think Arteta is actually, I agree with you here. For me, Arteta has kind of destroyed him a bit. When we saw Kiwior playing in like the preseason games, when he first arrived at the club and he was confident, he looked a good player, man. Good technique. Serie A, a lot of clubs were after him. He had played well in Serie A. He was like a player that I was expecting a lot from. Arteta literally gave him no minutes, right? Fabio
yeah,
Vieira, when he arrived, he was playing well in the Portuguese league. He arrived, he looked confident, he had a good connection with Martinelli, he was playing well, got no minutes. Smith Rowe, no minutes. I just don't want him to do the same thing with Ethan Nwaneri either, man. When players are on form, play them. So there I agree. That's
yeah,
the only thing that makes me doubt Arteta a little. But to be honest, Arteta could finish sixth this season. I wouldn't blame him. I would blame the club. Because for me,
and you'd be and you.
Edu, and now he's leaving us to go to Nottingham Forest. He can go. He must go and ruin Nottingham Forest. Like, we need a proper squad. If Arteta has the best squad in the league and then he doesn't win, then I'm going to be like, yo, it's your time to go. Give someone else a chance. But he doesn't have the best squad, man. He doesn't.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to have the best squad in the
Why
league.
not?
He's supposed to because he's supposed to coach, man. He's a coach. First thing, he's a coach. These guys that 25, 30 players in the Arsenal roster first team, they are professional athletes. The two of us can name from 1 to 30. They are good players. Even a guy like we can say Jorginho. Jorginho
Of
was
course.
number 2, number 3 Ballon d'Or. He is good.
He was
Thomas
good, yeah.
Partey. No, because he's slow. He's good. Declan Rice. Come again. What's his name? Benjamin White. We can go, and the list goes on. They are good players. We have a good squad. But
No,
if the coach,
we have a decent squad, but we do not have the best squad. For me, only Saka, Odegaard, Saliba. And then I'm gonna add Gabriel when he's on form. Right? That's 4 players. But we need more, man. We need like I would say we are at least still 2, 3 players away from actually winning something. The way we talk about Arsenal sometimes, we're gonna lose in the Champions League to a Bayern Munich or Barcelona like we always do, and we definitely not gonna win the league. We're not gonna win the league this year or next season, man. I already know. You know what I mean? We're not gonna win it. So we need to stop messing around and we need to
okay,
improve the squad.
all right, okay. So Fabio, we're going towards January. If you were manager, if you were director of football, who you bringing in? Unlimited money. Unlimited money. Who would you bring in?
We don't even need unlimited money, but we just
No, I'm
need
just
the
saying
right players.
unlimited.
But yeah,
Yeah.
for me, Isaac or Gyökeres, I'm not even fast. It doesn't matter which one go. Okay, deal.
Unlimited money. Let's just go.
Cool.
Unlimited.
Number 2, Vitinha. Buying Vitinha, man. buying Vitinha all the way. Merino, I know we just bought him, he's going to the bench. Putting Vitinha there in the midfield, playing with Partey and Odegaard. Vitinha, Isaac, and then Nico Williams. Yeah. Vitinha left 8. Nico Williams to come in to play on both sides of the wing whenever we need. Send Sterling home and buy Isaac. Those 3 entering that squad. Now we can talk about let's win the FA Cup, let's win the Premier League, let's at least try to get to a Champions League final. We're not going to do that. We're
Okay,
not going to get any of those players.
question. No, it's fine. This is how we do hypothetically. But I want to touch on the Nico Williams. If you brought Nico Williams in and you say any of the two positions, for the amount of money that you're gonna pay for the release clause, he's not gonna be a bench player. Nico Williams, you get Nico Williams. He's gonna play what on the left hand side? He's gonna
Left hand
push.
side.
Okay, so he's gonna push
For sure, which by the way
I'm
hurts
just
me.
asking. Nothing
Yeah,
with that.
which hurts me because Martinelli is still my favorite player for Arsenal, by the way. But he
Then
needs to be on the bench. He's not delivering. He's playing a bit better, but he's not delivering. No, don't sell him.
you cannot have two, man. You cannot have Nico Williams and thing.
How many does Man City have? That's the team we want to beat, huh? How many do Liverpool have?
Okay. I will ask you another question. I'll ask you another question. Saka does not get substituted unless he's really bad.
Not even. Saka plays even
You
if his leg is being shot. Saka plays
are
like no
in the
matter
bank.
what,
Even
which is not
I in
right.
the bank. I in the bank. Nico Williams, if he comes through, you think it's gonna be substituted? For how much you're gonna pay for him, will he be substituted?
Listen, the guy is young, man. He can come, he can fight, he can start, he can play 60 minutes, then he gets subbed. If we want to be a serious
Nico
team,
Williams.
please look at Man City. Phil Foden, right? Who was the best player in the league last season. Where is he this season most of the time? He was rocking on the bench. Phil Foden, right? Why can't we do the same? Why can Man City do it and we can't do it?
Because Man City with Phil Foden, he was an academy player. We're talking about a person that we're going to buy, pay his release clause, pay upwards of K salary for him to not play 90 minutes.
Listen, there's so
Saka
many
plays. You just
competitions.
said
There's so many competitions. You were saying about how there's so many competition players are overworked. Nico Williams could play 30 games in the season for Arsenal, and then he can sit out for 15, right? 8 Premier League games and a few in the
you
cup.
believe that?
Yeah, he can
You
sit.
believe that?
Yeah, because if we're a
Wow.
team that wins leagues, Real Madrid, look at their squad, players that are incredible on the bench. PSG, players that are incredible on the bench. Man City, on the bench. Bayern Munich. Those are the 4 clubs we need to be competing against.
But we don't have the luxury of that. We don't have the luxury of having the players that Real Madrid has. For example, Endrick, we have Goulart. We don't have that.
So then how can you judge Arteta to that standard where if he doesn't win the league, he's fired, when we are not willing to back him like that? Why don't we have that? Why can't we
Because
have
I've
that?
asked you, well, first, the finances don't justify that. We don't have the.
I'm not taking this thing about finances. I used to really believe in it, but now I'm actually like, you know what? It was all bullshit. We used to say this to ourselves to justify it. It's enough, man. We want to be a big club. We need to start acting like a big club. How much money did we lose because we didn't invest in the team and we had a crap team for many years and we're playing against Karabag FC? Do you know what I mean? If we invest in the team, we can expand the stadium, we can win a Champions League and a Premier League, then the revenues will come up.
Fabio, you cannot you cannot go between the past and the future. For me, everything that I'm trying to speak with you today is relevant to today. But today, how are you going to have a roster that accommodates 5 or 6 players that are earning 300, 400 a K a week? The January transfer window, we will know if we are in the title race or not. From today to the 20th of January, we will know. If we are in that race, for me, we're not going for Isaac because Isaac is not gonna come in January. He's not. Gokores, for me, has a release clause. You pay that and we go. because that guy has shown enough to score goals, and that's what we need.
But anyways, I'm being too negative. We won this weekend. We should be happy,
Yeah,
but we're not gonna win the
look,
league. We're not.
I'm very reactionary based on how the team did the game to game. When we win, I'm good. When they lose, I'm fucking, yeah, you know me. But we won yesterday, and we can have these conversations, not because we cannot have conversation when you lose. We can obviously have it, but I don't want to, overanalyze, because I think for me, what is important in terms of the Premier League games, we just take it one game at a time. It's a feel good moment. We won.
Yeah.
We played well.
We played
Absolutely well.
That's even more important to me.
We played well and we dominated. But to, hyper analyze or over analyze how Arsenal is with the players that we have,
Yeah.
they scored. West Ham is where we need to be on it. But it's too early in the week to analyze, because injuries can occur in the game at Sporting, you know what I mean, and can affect us. But yeah, but the victory was good. The victory was good, my brother.
Yeah,
It tasted
we
good.
did well, man. We did well.
Yeah,
Alright,
we did. We did.
let's savor it. Let's enjoy it. Let's hope that we have an amazing week. We play great. No injuries. Get those 3 points.
Take care, my brother.
Let's go, Gunners.
Up the Gunners. We won.
Yeah.
Cheers, my brother.